Space exploration. One of the purest gaming experiences you can enjoy. Nothing but the open void to cruise and a cargo hold full of rare goods to sell. Pirates waiting behind every asteroid, and wealth to be found for those who know how to look for it. It was that dream that launched Elite back in 1984, and it's lived on in the minds of gamers for decades. Now, those of you looking for a new spacefaring fix can turn to the bright lights of Elite Dangerous. But just how much inspiration does Dangerous take from its ancestor? More than you might think. Elite might be age-old in gaming terms, but it's left plenty of influence on this shiny new title. The visual design of Elite's world was left largely up to the imagination of its players. With only simple wireframe graphics to look at, lots of the blanks were filled in your head. That said, Elite Dangerous has done a wonderful job of taking the most iconic parts of Elite's design, from the Cobra Mark III trading ship to the huge Coriolis space stations, and brought them into the modern world of textures and post-processing. The Cobra was a simple wedge shape back in the day. Turned into a fully realised model, that simple wedge manages to look retro, stylish and reliable all at once. As for the space stations, well, just look at the things. They're some of the best sci-fi design in any game ever. Period. Combat too is closer than you'd think to the original Elite. Sure, decades have passed, but the basics of dogfighting never changed. Now, when you kill your speed and whip around in a 180, your hull shudders and groans, but the same manoeuvre was just as effective back in 1984. The lasers are the same, the missiles are the same. Energy bombs are gone, replaced with railguns and other fancy toys, but small, nimble craft can still run rings around bigger cruisers, and police Vipers are still a deadly nuisance. For the veteran Elite player returning to Elite Dangerous, there's plenty of familiarity in the game's extremely robust combat. Mining is thankfully a little more refined these days, since it was borderline impossible to mine and make a good profit back in the Elite days. Trading, however, is much the same, despite a greater array of goods on offer. The principle of flying to a farm world to fill your hull with cheap crops after selling your haul of machinery at a high price still applies. You'll be doing the same loop of dock, sell, buy, launch, navigate and repeat that players perfected back in the 80s. This degree of fidelity to the game's original vision says a lot about how fundamental many of the building blocks of the genre are. While first-person shooters have seen huge changes over the years and RPGs are unrecognisable from the old days, space sims remain pretty much the same. Nowadays, you can pilot more than just a puny Cobra, but you're still always on the lookout for that new bit of shiny gear, that golden trading route. The most crucial aspect of the original Elite's charm, though, was the feeling of being one pilot against the odds, exploring a hostile galaxy that didn't really care about your actions. That sense of loneliness has been captured absolutely perfectly in Elite Dangerous, and that's an incredible achievement considering how many years have gone by. So, in many ways, Elite Dangerous is just Elite with a fresh coat of paint. There are new features, sure, but this long-awaited sequel is respectful to its source material in the best possible way. If you want an absolutely classic gaming experience in a fresh modern package, you could do a lot worse than Elite Dangerous.